My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is March 22nd, 2025. It is 4:28 a.m. I just finished edit whatever I recorded yesterday. So I create a list and I will have 2 videos tonight, hopefully, or this morning I should say. 11 tweets for this channel. I just want to go over some politics stuff, Harry's visa things that I saw throughout the day, and I keep on liking them, so for me to put on my list to share with you. And then for PYTE, I also have 11 tweets. I don't remember what most of them are, and I did put some reminders. Okay, so there's something regarding missing Harriman. I think these 2 are almost the same. It's a retweet of missing Harriman video. There's more stuff regarding with love Meghan, Meghan's father, something that I just saw. I put it here, and a video from E-News. So I'll be going over it later. That'll be on PYTE. But for now, this video, it should not be long because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Has to do with politics. I haven't looked too much into politics because the unnecessary pain, inflicted pain that Trump is doing to the US, it's unbelievable. It's best to just ignore and move on. So this may not be for you. But I want to look at it, take a peek, because you still need to pay attention to what's going on. So I want to take a look at some of those things that I saw throughout the day. I didn't have time to really read and listen to the videos because I was kind of busy. So I'm putting it on the video as I go through them. Alright, so this is the background. 4,530 subscribers. New subscribers welcome. Estimate revenue, I'm getting rich. $50.18. Analytics, 834 views in the last 48 hours. So let's go on Twitter. Is that this one? Harassing? Yep, that's this one. I don't know if I shared it on my community board. If I did, you probably already know what it is about. Harassing Prince Harry to now self-deport because you don't like the answer to the question you claim you wanted to know. Whether he received preferential treatment for US entry tells me that you use our court as an attempt to separate Harry from his wife and children. This is sick. That has been the plan from the beginning. From the beginning, they wanted that. Meanwhile, they're portraying to the world and to the UK citizens that they are welcoming, they diverse, they accept Meghan and all that. Look at Charles walking Meghan down the aisle, okay? But meanwhile, in the background, all the unnecessary pain they were inflicting on both of them was to separate them. But Harry, who grew up in that crazy demonic family, he knows what they're all about. So he understood the assignment, what they were doing to a certain extent. And I think little at a time, things that keep on happening open his eyes to see what they were trying to do, because he never experienced these things before. And he grew up in a, well, to a certain extent. All these, there's a flip side to it, because they have used him as a scapegoat for almost every other royals in the family, because he was the only, he was one, I will not say the only, you could say only, because William, they already consider him as the heir, so he was protected. But because his mother wasn't there to fight for him, to protect him, so, and Charles, I've said this before, never really considered anything that came from Princess Diana as any value. I don't even think he valued William. William is because he's the heir. That's all. But Harry, they throw him under the bus for every other royals that's in the family. Okay? So Harry had his share of being thrown under the bus. So I guess in a way he was, I will not say immune. Could it be immune? He sort of understood, but he stood his ground to, if this is the woman that he loves, he stood his ground. And he saw what Meghan was all about prior from the royal family knowing Meghan. All right? But anyway, that was the point. That was their goal from the beginning, to get Meghan out of the way without saying it. They're using whatever tactic that they use to be a two-face. Okay, in front of the person, they show they are welcoming, they're loving, and all of that. But in back of them, they are backstabbers, pretty much. All right, so this is the retweet. Prince Harry should self-deport from the U.S. because he hates America. How do you know he hates America? Harry have spoke many times how he enjoy being over there because the kind of protection, and he's able to be himself, and people welcome him and all of that.
Look, living here now for 5 years, it feels like home. Santa Barbara feels like home. Brought up both of our kids in Santa Barbara. I think left the UK when my son Archie was about 6 months old, and Lily, my daughter, was born here. What do I miss the most? Being British, maybe. I'm not going to say the weather, but I don't know. I think, look, there's lots of little bits and pieces that I miss. I guess the countryside is a big piece to that. And one of the reasons why we live in Santa Barbara. I'm not really a city person. I like to be out in space with a big sky above me. But no, you know what? Life takes extraordinary turns. And we are, as a family, we're so happy here. The US provides so much opportunity. And also, a safe space for us, which has been great.
And these people are talking for him. So you're not supposed to listen to what he's saying? Okay, Prince Harry should self-deport from the U.S. because he hates America, and that's a quote. The Wang think tank pursuing the release of his immigration record has claimed. The Heritage Foundation, in my humble opinion, is an extension of the government of the UK. All right, but they just present themselves as an organization or whatever, but it's a way to dismantle the US. Okay? And if you see what Trump is doing right now, pretty much dismantle the fabric, the government system. It's all, well, not all, majority of them are people who have some sort of connection with the US, with the UK. If you look at Elon Musk, for instance, there's something I know about him. I do not want to say it, but you'll be very surprised to see how this all connected from Johnny Depp thing to him. Okay? That's the only hint I could say. Johnny Depp is not part of this. Johnny Depp got himself out of there, got himself out of that lawsuit and all of that. He's not involved with it, but there's some, the two, something separation. There's some connection, a chain of reaction. Okay? And some of the people that were in the lawsuit and everything from the UK to the US, they all connected. That's the only clue I'm gonna say. However, Johnny Depp is not part of this mess that the US is going through. It's some people who were involved with his case that are connected with the Heritage Foundation and things that's going on with the Trump dismantling the system. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Okay, Prince Harry has stated many times how much he loves living here. Yep, like 567 times. What a effing idiot. They really do need to get a hobby. This shit is scary. Like Jackie Aina said about the Meghan hate, it's giving mommy come get me. Okay, they also, was it Ugle? They also Ugle. Yep, no life to be obsessing over Harry and Meghan like this. Let's pause this. After these, that's it. Haha, this is so unhinged. Self-deport because he said so. such a delusional of grandeur. They exposed themselves. It was never about preferential treatment. These ugly-looking non-American pricks want Harry to leave and or want America to essentially hand over Harry's visa application to the British press so that he could be relentlessly harassed. Sick. And this is what I said in one of my videos, is that I'm sort of okay now seeing the full ripple effect of everything that Neil Gardner went about it since, from the time he started the process of releasing his information from DHS to other department and then to the court. And then the court, and I'm glad all these people that were at the government offices were ethical, okay? Because Trump is literally destroying the system. If he had put his people there and they're not even following court orders, if they have done that now, whatever that presenter had said, I do not have the clip of that video, where at one point he said, oh, once Trump get in office, he'll be deported. Okay, so from the time Neil Gardner started the process going to DHS, where ethical people were in the right place and following the rule of law, okay, declined to release Harry's information due to privacy, and then up to the court, because he took it to court too, and then the judge saw all the other department that Neil Gardner had went prior coming to the court were following procedures and the privacy thing, okay? So the court, I think, tossed it or something like that. But if he was doing it now, where Trump is putting his lackeys in the office and different offices and dismantling the system, and they don't follow the rule of law, he probably would have gotten what he wanted, Neil Gardner, regarding Harry. And then that's when Harry will take legal issues and all of that, because they release his information. And let's give prop where prop is due. There's a possibility Meghan's niece, who is I think immigration lawyer, probably tightened Harry's case and did what was supposed to do, for him to live here. But all in all, what I was trying to say is that if Neil Gardner have done what he did prior, now, when Trump is in office, he probably would have gotten what he wanted. But before that, before Trump dismantled the system, where the system was intact, everybody was following the rule of law, he couldn't get what he wants. So we need to give him thanks for starting it early. Right? It seems that Heritage, the target, has very unscrupulous associates. Precisely. Heritage Foundation is pretty much the UK. Alright. I thought I responded to that. Okay, after this, that's it. Okay, the man has been wearing the same California hat for years. Refuses to let go of that hat. Okay, laughing my ass off. Let's see here. There's that. Look at where his hand is. Look where his hand are. There they are, wearing that hat. California. More of that. Harry is enjoying his life. Okay, so let's leave that alone. Let's go to the next one. It's making reference to the visa. I took too long on that. 12 minutes already. Why are royal experts so obsessed with the idea that Prince Harry's life should be a nightmare? Because this is the thing they had crafted for him. I have 2 interviews that Harry and William did together. 2 joint interviews. One with Matt Lauer, I think that's his name, and in the US, where I think his NBC was interviewing him. And the topic that came up, what did they want to do, as they get older and things like that. Everything that Harry said in that interview, it's exactly what he's doing. But when before Harry could explain what he wants to do, William cut Harry in, saying he'll be drinking and smoking or something like that.
Like what?
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a policeman, but that happened. I wouldn't want to be that now.
Most popular cop on the block.
Exactly.
How about you, Harry?
He'd probably sit in and play computer games and drink beer. Thanks a lot.
And they laugh about it. And then Harry went on to explain what he wanted to do, which is exactly what he's doing here.
I honestly, I don't know how well this would get out, but I'd probably live in Africa. I'd like to spend all my time out there.
In a humanitarian
both. It would be a humanitarian aspect and as well as a sort of safari aspect. As a job, it'd probably be a safari guide, and then
It'd be really good for me because he wouldn't be around, you see, so I get the highest to
at
myself.
the same time, splitting my time between a charity, in the Sutu, probably the Sutu as well. If I became normal tomorrow, then I'd have the
that word
Sutu.
normal comes up a lot, doesn't it?
Working with charities, with animals and all of that. So this is exactly what he's doing. But William, on the other hand, the smoking and the drinking and things like that, that was the idea they put in William's head about Harry. And then there's another interview that they did. This lady was just laughing left and right. I believe it was during the concert that they did for Princess Diana. William said the same thing. We'll be smoking and drinking and all of that.
Yeah, well, for a concert it'll be easy, and it's actually been a lot tougher than you imagine.
Yeah. We couldn't have done it with everybody else's help.
Yeah.
Everyone coming together, all the little cogs and pieces put together.
Has there been any kind of diva demands or sort of pop stars you've had to deal with that have been quite tricky?
Couldn't possibly be so indiscreet.
The Spice Girls were quite keen to...
He's been the hardest. He was, some cigarettes somewhere and a beer, that's about it, really.
But Harry had a better idea for himself. And it begs the differ. William kept on saying that Harry will be doing all those drugs and smoking and all of that. Who was giving Harry those drugs? At one point, if they keep at it, they will be outing themselves. Who were the people handing Harry drugs or get Harry into drugs to be, the story about the drugs. And then now, years later, he has his family. He turned his life around with a lot of work and therapy. Got a beautiful wife and wonderful children. And they keep at that freaking drug thing. We need to find out who were the people who were giving him. This should be the question for everybody. If they kept at it and then you look back, and that was the thing they keep on saying about him. So that was the narrative they wanted for him. So who were the ones who were giving him drugs? Who introduced him to drugs? Yes, we could read some part of his book, memoir, and spare, but who were deliberately giving him drugs? Because I don't see Harry going out there in a corner going and buy drugs. Someone had to go out there and buy it for him and give it to him. So who were those people? There's an article about Camilla's son, who, I don't know, was selling, is it ecstasy? Some sort of a drugs at a nightclub or something like that. Who were these people around Harry? Okay, let's see here. Richard K. Harry is said to be relieved after the publication of his visa form and comments on drug use, but this is why I believe it could be the beginning, not the end, of his nightmare. What the hell is wrong with this? God needs to give these people a baggage. These were the same group of people who were part of the campaign for Charles on Princess Diana.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Mrs. Barker-Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
These are the same group. Diana, do your thing up there because they refuse to leave your son alone. They're the same group. Okay, when I attended the royal wedding at Harry and Meghan in 2018, I observed external joy and adoration and the dysfunction behind the scenes. A viscountess told me Meghan will never be accepted, and a royal commentator muted loud enough to me to hear the wedding was too black. Whose wedding was it? It was Harry and Meghan. They decided. And I remember there's something I came across, and I think I have it on PYTE, where Charles wanted one of his right-hand man to be the, I think, is it the caterer or to arrange the wedding? Harry was like, no. Harry refused for that to happen. Because you already know, those royal family, they don't do things genuinely. That's the word. They don't do things genuinely. If Harry had let this guy, what's his name? I have a picture of him somewhere. I'll just look at the screen. If Harry had allowed what the father had said about the wedding, they were going to implant something, some unnecessary burden with that, so they could use later in the future to attack Harry and Meghan for. So I'm glad Harry avoided that. And this is something they could let go. Look at that. I believe it was in the Oprah interview where Meghan said they did their own little ceremony privately with that priest, something Welby or something like that. And the guy refused to confirm what Harry and Meghan said. But however, he will put his life on the line for the pedo. So these people are freaking. I'm just happy they left. That's all. I didn't plan on staying that long. Why should this old man be in a nursing home already pondering about the talent he wasted before meeting his maker? Okay, the article is behind a paywall. Richard probably needs the money to fund his nursing home or whatever urgent bills. God needs to give them a baggage because they don't have any problem. If they had something to keep their mind occupied, they will not be looking at Harry and Meghan. Also, Richard whing about lack of access to the Sussexes. He knows where it is at, and he's got no pass. That's his problem. Lack of access, less money. So let's put the article behind a paywall. Richard K. would love this to be a nightmare for Harry. The truth is he has no idea what Harry thought or felt. Richard K. is another fantasy storyteller. They still want him as a court jester. Okay, this is a bully Willy mouthpiece. And Charles too. You don't hear them talking about what Camilla did to Princess Diana when Princess Diana was alive. Okay, so they're shifting all the narrative onto Diana's kids. I mean, they play this very well. Because right now, at Charles' reign, that would have been the conversation. What Camilla did to Princess Diana and how Charles manipulated Princess Diana and all the unnecessary pain and burden they put on Princess Diana. Are we talking about that? No.
The most damaging charge that is made in relation to your marriage is that you were, because of your relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, from the beginning, persistently unfaithful to your wife and thus caused the breakdown. What is your response to that persistent criticism?
Oh, that's the persistent criticism, is it? Well, and the trouble is, you see, that these things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal. It's difficult to know quite how to talk about these things in front of everybody. And obviously, I don't think many people would want to. But I mean, all I can say is that there's been so much speculation, feeding on every other kind of speculation, that it all becomes bigger and bigger. I mean, all I can say is that I mean, there is no truth in so much of this speculation. And Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise. And she has been a friend for a very long time, and along with a lot of other friends, and will continue to be a friend for a very long time. And I think also most people probably would realize that when marriages break down, awful and miserable as that is, that so often, you know, that it is your friends who are the most important and helpful and understanding and encouraging.
So they're creating nonsense. It's the same mindset that's going on right now in the US, with Trump trying to create all this division and all of that. And then one thing I have to say, this should be for my members. At one point, I need to create a video for my members about young white Gen Z kids, because those all white men within their family are messing up their future. Okay, right now they may have an upper hand, and as I'm looking at the way things is moving forward right now, it's like they are on their last brink of losing control of what they had full control of. So it's up to young Gen Zs to remove that shackle of racism that their parents are holding on to and passing it on to them. They better stop now, because right now, in my lifetime, many people in my lifetime, I'm not talking for everybody, but I think there's a good amount of people who's willing to forgive the current generation of what their great-grandparents did to our generation and what continued to, it's a lot to take in. But however, education, understanding, and not repeating what happened in the past need to stop. It needs to stop, because if they continue with what their great-grandfather, their great-grandparents did to our ancestor, and they continue that same system, you could forget about it. Whatever the lifestyle they're trying to maintain, it's not gonna happen. So young generation, young white men, and I guess white women too, these I don't know, because they harness that nonsense that keeps on happening. But they need to take a hard look, because I've seen many young white men, young boys, they see what needs to be done, but their parents are holding them back. So they need to remove that shackle and carve their future in a better way, because we have been telling them so many times, but their great-grandparents, their parents right now don't want to let go, right? But it's not gonna look good for them, because who has more to lose? This is the thing here. Who has more to lose? When you have nothing to lose, people don't give a F. Okay, so it's almost like, I don't know if some of you seen that video. I can't show it because at one point I did share it. YouTube black my video, even though I put screenshot. It's that young, it's a very old video. I think it's Australian. This big kid was being bullied by that skinny kid with his group, and then he keep on taunting him, and then at one point the other kid who was being bullied, I don't know what got into him, he just pick up that kid and body slam him. Okay, so this is the thing. You better be careful, because once people get to a certain point when they don't give a F anymore, you're gonna get it. All right, let's get back to this. I went off. This is a bully Willy mouthpiece. Bet that commentator was Somni, because they think if they say it enough times, it'll be true. Thing is, Harry and Meghan are so happy together, and that's all that matters. What they love is a family split up, the kids being without one parent. That's how sick these morons are who wish that on anyone. Again, with the projections, it's Prince Harry's making their lives a living hell. Those, there's the word here, need to pay for the living hell Diana went through. Okay, she's dead because of them. That's exactly that. Okay, that headline alone is full of misinformation, speculation, and stupid wishful thinking, nothing to do with facts or informed knowledge. He is the one warrior they cannot control. That's true. This is an ad. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I see a LOL here. I say I'm gonna go through that really fast, but it doesn't seem it. Okay, I think I shared this on my community board. Oh dear, there's that. People are calling those warrior bats out. Okay, I don't know what this was about. It seems like it was a video, and this is a comment under that video. I'm assuming, okay? And someone took a screenshot of this. Okay, no, but it proves is Harry either lie on his visa or he's protected by the Biden administration. There's something else the government don't want you to know about Harry. Okay, this thing went to all the legal processes. There's no way they would approve him being here from the beginning. And then he went to, like I said before, DHS, and there was another department that he went to. They refer him back to DHS, and then once they refer him back to DHS give him the same answer. He went to the court, and the court said all the other offices that he went to follow proper procedure, and there was no need to release his information. And then I think, I don't think I have it here, but in past video, whatever the court releases, they all were redacted. Okay, so that's that. And then someone responded, no, William, it does, thinking that it's William. You'll see in the next video that, okay, William spent hours trolling online forum where he posts under fake names. Because of that, now people, when they see certain responses under a comment, they call him William. Allegedly, okay? No, William, it does not prove any lie. Why are you harassing your brother? Is the throne not enough, or are you not enough for the throne? People are laughing. There's that. Okay, so there's me here. Let's pause. Soon, these tormented demons are going to audit who were giving Harry those drugs. And many joint interviews between Harry and William, William used to say that Harry would be drinking, smoking, etc. in the future. Now that Harry has a stable family life, the British royal family and the British media's narrative is not going accordingly. God take the wheel on this. Okay, Wicked Willie. Alright, this is so spot on how we should treat all haters, call them by their fake account, especially William, and voter rats like Pammy, Maureen, and what was then Wooten fake account name again. Is it Martin Branning or something like that? I forgot. Anyway, going forward, I will address trolls as William. Okay, I think so. Okay, I think so too. Okay, it's him. This should be the response to all William's trolling posts. They are all him. The squad are just laughing about it. Let's go to the next one. So here I see I put Nile Gardner. Oh my God, the squad. I can't believe they took the time to do this. We see you, Pamela. We see you, Nile Gardner. The squad are crazy. When I get home and settle, I may have to craft one up on my own. There's that. I bet he loves too. Oh my God. Big forehead freak. There's that. Isn't she cute? You guys are something else. I'm telling you, the squad are something. And one said, when I get home, I'm gonna craft one. The squad are having fun with this, but the royal rats are taking it serious because this is their livelihood, to create chaos. The Windsors can't win a war with the Sussexes, that's for sure. I'm not gonna read the article, I'm just here for the comment. The Windsors can't even be united with themselves. They did the dividing themselves. They conquered nothing either. The Sussexes are basically winning the way, staying where they are, doing their thing. I'm just here enjoying their self-implosion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything, whatever Harry and Meghan are going through with the royal family created it. All they had to do, even if they didn't, I don't know, I guess accept Harry, then accept Meghan, but for the love of Harry and the institution as a whole, they could have just pretend, but they can't. It's so deep. This is in their DNA. The vial they created worldwide, it's them who created. And you see it pass on. It's almost every white people anywhere around the world. It's in their DNA, where they even voting against their best interests. You see how Trump is doing their nonsense and they vote for Trump, and then Trump is removing everything, and now they're crying. It's in their DNA. They're twisting themselves in oppressor. Alright, did I read that? I'm just here to enjoy it. Hell yes, the Windsors are struggling to stay relevant. Yeah, because when there's division, okay, chaos, that's how they thrive. If anyone wants to see this article, please put the timestamp. You must put the timestamp. I'm not gonna go back and listen to my entire video to get the thing. And let me know, you know, if you want me to grab the link for you. I could come back to the tweet. All right, so that's this here. Can anyone just get her to shut up? All right, she was one of the, is it 2 prime ministers or was it 3 prime ministers? I think it's 2 prime ministers. Her, Bojo, Farage, and what's the other guy name? Branson. I'll put the screenshot of it. Okay, where they came to the RNC to support Trump. All right, this is why I said the Heritage Foundation is the UK system. Okay, former UK Prime Minister Liz slammed Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Quote, he did a terrible job of the governorship of the Bank of England. Who are you? Yes, she was the former Prime Minister, but when she was at a position to be able to do something, okay? It's not like I could do it, but she had the opportunity to be in a position to do something. She didn't even stay for what? 4 months? She quit. And from my understanding, I think she's getting a certain amount of money for the rest of her life, and she's getting protection for the rest of her life. For that only few seconds she was as a prime minister. Okay, he created a lot of the problems that blew up on my watch. It is illegitimate that this guy has never been elected as a member of parliament in Canada. I don't know. I don't follow Canadian politics and things like that, but let's put it here. The only thing I could say, she was in a position of power to be able to do something. It seems like, wait a second, it seems like she's shifting some blame to whoever she's blaming on Canada. Let's see here. He created a lot of the problem that blew up on my watch. On my watch. Create problem on her watch. So what did you do about it? It is illegitimate that this guy has never been elected as a member of parliament. Okay, I'm gonna let it play because I don't follow Canadian politics. Occasionally I take a peek now because of what Trump is doing with Greenland and all this BS, but I don't follow that much. It's 2 minutes, it'll be screenshot, and that's pretty much it, and then I'm gonna move on.
Extraordinary that Mark Carney has become the Prime Minister of Canada. He did a terrible job in Britain of the governorship of the Bank of England. He created a lot of the problems that blew up on my watch and that I got blamed for.
And let's not forget with the, what was it, in 2020, with those, is it PPE or something like that, what the Tories did, okay, to steal so much money. I talk about this. There was a group, I forgot the names of them. They create a business to provide PPE in the UK, and then the government give them contract to do it. When I look in the background of the people who create that business to get the contract from the government for the PPE, their background is not in medical at all. They full-blown business people. That alone, the US did almost the same thing too, okay? But some of them had to go to jail later on when they find out, you know, they falsified the information. I'm talking about the US. But the UK was doing almost the same thing to steal the money. But I don't know if anybody ever been prosecuted for what they did in the UK. But in the US, there were some. Okay? Not all, but there were some. But what you see the US is doing right now, it's a model. It's a blueprint. What I mean right now in terms of what Trump is doing with immigration, deporting those migrants and all of that, it's a blueprint from the UK. But what happened...
Mr. Speaker, let me return to the Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership. So 2.5 years after the previous government launched it, I can report it has already cost the British taxpayer £700 million in order to send just 4 volunteers. Those costs include £290 million payments to Rwanda, chartering flights that never took off, detaining hundreds of people and then releasing them, and paying for more than 1,000 civil servants to work on the scheme. A scheme to send 4 people. It is the most shocking waste of taxpayers' money I have ever seen. Looking forward, the costs are set to get worse. Even if the scheme had ever got going, it's clear it would only cover a minority of arrivals. Yet a substantial portion of future costs were fixed costs. For example, the annual direct payments to Rwanda, the contracts for escorts, the staffing in the Home Office, the detention and reception centres, and more. So the taxpayer would still have to pay out no matter how few people were relocated. And most shocking of all, over the 6 years of the Migration and Economic Development Partnership forecast, the previous government had planned to spend over £10 billion of taxpayers' money on the scheme. They did not tell Parliament that. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Rwandan government for working with the UK in good faith, because the failure for this policy lies with the previous UK government. It has been a costly con, and the taxpayer has had to pay the price.
Okay, so now let's get back to this video.
Were actually created by him. He backed Labour in the election and Rachel Reeves's policies, which are leading the country to bankruptcy. So why on earth the Liberal Party of Canada has selected this man, I have no idea. And I think it is illegitimate that this guy has never been.
Illegitimate when the people elect him? How is that illegitimate? Illegitimate when they elect him. He didn't just come to power like Elon doing with Doge, doing all those disaster things. I don't know. My God, the US is... the US is going bonkers. All I have to say is 92% saw it, okay? If you know what I mean by 92%.
Elected as a member of Parliament in Canada. I'm utterly puzzled, and the Canadians. I'm not going to tell the Canadians how to vote. Obviously, I want the Conservatives to be elected in Canada, but I think it's Justin Trudeau has pursued a lot of the same policies that Europe has been pursuing, and America has raced ahead of us. Back at the turn of the millennium.
Okay, let's not forget she supports Trump, and then we see what Trump is doing. Okay, let's not forget all of that. To know the mindset of this lunatic that's talking here, in my humble opinion.
The average Brit was catching up with the average American in terms of income per head.
Wow.
We are now $34,000 a year behind. We are poorer than Mississippi, which is the poorest American state. And the same is true. The same is true of France and Germany, and to some extent of Canada, because they pursued all of these.
And Mississippi are the Trump people, okay? They voted against their best interests. Meanwhile, these are things I spoke about a long time ago. Those Republican states, they were being subsidized pretty much by Democratic state. They're all Democratic, but the blue states like New York, New York, Illinois, California, okay? Because these were the hardworking, they were making money, and then some of the tax dollars goes to the Republican state. And meanwhile, they were voting against their best interests. Or they don't like socialism and all that. Meanwhile, they were the beneficiary of socialism. Look who's crying now. I'm not on TikTok, but I've been recommended some videos on YouTube that has TikTok clips here and there. If you are on TikTok, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these white MAGAs are now crying of what Trump is doing. But anyway, let's continue.
These woke policies. High taxes, high spending, not using their natural resources. And Justin Trudeau was the architect of that. And of course, Mark Carney has been the advocate of these policies. So I don't know what is going on in Canada, but in the same way as I think people in Britain need to wake up to what the real threat to our country is, I think they need to wake up in Canada.
All right, let's leave that alone, okay? You can't tell what to do, but anyway. Next tweet. So this is a little bit U.S. politics here. Damn. Lindsey Graham, when I die, God isn't going to ask, quote, why didn't you convict Trump, end quote. That's this one. Perhaps you shouldn't assume that you'll be talking to God. This guy is a two-face. I don't know why they keep on voting him in. This is the problem many of those MAGAs have. They're voting against their best interest. This guy, Lindsey Graham, he will tell you what you want to hear, and then when it comes to voting in Senate, he throw you under the bus. Unbelievable. For sure, he's going to be looking up at us. LOL. God may indeed have that question, but Satan will know the answer. Oh my Lord, the nonsense. This is why I don't pay too much attention to politics, because it's like, okay, it's like mental gymnastic. All right, this, I'm not going to go too much into it. There's a lot of response. The only reason I'm sharing this, there's one. Okay, I was going to say, guess what you don't see, but it's right there. This black guy. Okay. Breaking, 34,000 people have showed up in Denver, Colorado this evening to see Bernie Sanders and AOC fight oligarchy and authoritarianism. All right, tongue tie right here. So I cannot play it freely, but I'm just going to go over it really quickly. You see, majority of them are white. I don't know how Colorado voted. Let me check. Okay, so I search result of Colorado vote in 2024. Looks like Harris won by a very short margin. So which means there's a good amount of people wanted Trump to be in office. But I'm saying too many numbers. Okay, let me see if there's an article somewhere. Okay, 2024 Colorado result. Let's see here. AP. I don't want to read everything. Let me pause and see what I need to share with you. I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, I put the link in the on my list already. So Kamala Harris did win. What is it? 54.2%, and Trump 43.2%. That was still close. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, did I read that? Yeah, I did. So I say I'm not gonna play this fully because I don't want to get black by YouTube. Otherwise I'll be just showing screenshot anyway. So there were a good amount. So it said that these people American had to go through it in order for them to understand it, what was at stake. We could have avoided this. We could have been so much further into peace, prosperity, enjoying our life, but now we're going back to fight all this BS again. But some of the things Trump is doing, could easily reverse back because they weren't done by Congress. Okay, it's just what do you call this? Executive order. I didn't go to the comments. Okay, so this is another one here. Okay, AOC, if you are an LGBTQ kid or family, we cannot throw you under the bus in order to win an election. In this house, we stand together. So this, I'll let it play, but it will be a screenshot though. You could listen.
But I will say this. To those leaders on either side of the aisle who are willing to put their fellow Americans down so that they can get ahead or feel better about themselves, they may best find a home somewhere else.
The thing is that many of these people, elected officials who are in office, many of them are old. They're about to go. This is the thing I don't freaking understand. These people want to leave hate and division as they are about to exit this world. It's very sad. Let's continue. And this is why I said young people, especially young white people, they need to look into the future, because many of those people they trying to put down, they have nothing to lose. But them, those young white people, they have more to lose instead of moving forward with understanding. Respect is the key. Respect and understanding and acknowledge what was done. This is how we need to move forward. But if they refuse, they're gonna F1 and find out as well. Let's continue.
If you're an LGBT kid or a family, we can't throw you under the bus in order to win an election. In this house, we stand together because here we know that together, without exception, is the only way that we can win. So I hope that you...
Okay, it's repeating, okay? The other thing I was saying, if you look back, and I think I've touched base on this, where I brought in this topic of this young man, a Brit. I think he's the owner of Gymshark. Okay, around that time, I wasn't really into politics or whatever. I was into fitness videos and all of that, where he would bring sponsor YouTubers who's into fitness and to help bring his brand up and things like that. He's probably a millionaire. His brand got really high up there. But when you look around that time, I would say 2014 up to maybe 2016-ish, or let me move it slightly further, maybe 2018. From 2014 to 2018, you see all those young people mixed, okay, hanging out, having fun, into fitness and all that. These people, those old white people, wanted that division. Okay, and I think he was creating another branch, that Gymshark CEO was, because the company was growing. I think he was creating another division, I will not say headquarter, into the US. And it could have been Colorado. At one point, I thought my husband's firm was doing that, because around that same time, it's not, by the way, okay? But I thought at that time, maybe my husband's firm was participating in or helping him create that, because they flew my husband to Colorado to look at the site and to some design and things like that. I thought he was working with them, but it's not, okay? Because the coincidence, the time were almost the same time where he was looking to build a headquarter in the US. I haven't followed him since. I don't know if he continued with that. I doubt it now, because the way Trump is doing things, I doubt it he will expand his thing. Or maybe the curbing down, and then you had the Brexit and all that. So they prevent young people from moving forward. When they see there's progress, people don't need their money to beg for them and things like that, they scale it back. They want people in poverty to be in need of them. This young man, I think he was a pizza delivery, and he was in college as well. But at night, his passion, things that he do on the side, was those Gymshark shirt and things like that. And he expanded. It became a lot, where he pretty much had to, I think he dropped out of school after that, because the business was growing so fast. Okay, you guys could look into it. Gymshark CEO. What's his name? I forgot his name. Let me look for it. That's him. Ben Francis. He's a Brit. Okay, he's the one who created Gymshark. It's one word. Okay, Gymshark CEO. Okay, how big is this? Okay, Benjamin David Francis, MBE, is a British businessman. He is the co-founder, CEO, and majority owner of Gymshark, a fitness apparel and accessories company founded in 2012. Okay, so I was pretty much close with the time frame. I said 2014, but it goes further back, 2012. Okay, education, Aston University, South Bromsgrove High School. Okay, so around that, oh my God, his network. Oh, now at that time, you see, I stopped following him, because at the time he had a girlfriend, And I think, I guess he asked her to marry, and they have 2 kids now. Okay, 1.3 billion US dollars as of 2025. Okay, and I think the girlfriend, I didn't follow the girlfriend too much, but I think she's a business person as well. Okay, so when I was looking into all of this, you see those young people, young white Brits, and there's some as well, black Brits I used to follow as well. What's his name? Oh my God. They have 2 kids as well. One of them, the wife was a model. Let me look for her, now that I'm thinking about it. I took a while. I can't find I don't remember their name. But anyway, the whole point is there were a lot of young, upcoming entrepreneur into fitness. They're doing their thing, traveling, mingling with different race, different groups of people. And then boom, these old people wanted to put a stop to it. And they were building their own business without the restraint, the shackle of the government system, because they maneuver themselves outside of the system to build their own business among themselves. Okay, and then we see all those things that happen. And I saw it happening because when I used to watch Hugo's channel, before I started my channel, I just, to inform myself, I look into Sussex Squad channels. Hugo was one of them. And when he created another channel, before he let that young lady take over, I don't know how the transfer went, but before the transfer went on, he let us know that he had another channel. And that channel had to do with mostly politics and social issues and things like that. That's going on in the UK. There's one video he put out, I'll never forget that, is that there was some sort of a meeting that was going on by business people. You have business people from the US. What's this guy with Microsoft? He was there, and all sort of business people that were there. And that, I believe, was the beginning to put a stop to whatever progress we were having. Okay? But anyway, did we finish listening to this? Let's start all over. But I'm not going to go in the comment. I think I'm done with talking.
But I will say this. To those leaders on either side of the aisle who are willing to put their fellow Americans down so that they can get ahead or feel better about themselves, they may best find a home somewhere else. And if you're an LGBT kid or a family, we can't throw you under the bus in order to win an election. In this house, we stand together because here we know that together, without exception, is the only way that we can win. So I hope that you...
Okay, it's playing over. I think I did let it play all over. There was something I was thinking. This is why I like to stop in the middle when the thought process comes for me to share what I'm thinking. I had something to say, and I was like, oh, let me let it play. Now I forget. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so most of them are Blue Sky's tweets. Okay, while the top scientists and researchers leave the US, the Trump government is trying to find someone who will give them eggs. The stupidity of things, it is mind-boggling. The stupidity of things. I'm not going to read the article. I just wanted to share that with you. The other day, my husband and I went food shopping. I think I took a picture of it. I think it's 18 eggs for $22. We look at it. Usually, because I usually eat a lot of egg white and my kids will live on rice and eggs. Okay, so we buy a lot of eggs. Sometime when we go shopping, we'll buy at least 6. Just look at the screen. I think I still have it on my phone. The picture that I took at the supermarket. We will buy at least 6 cartons of that. Okay. It was $22, and I was like, let's just skip it. And my husband was like, nah, we'll buy 1. Okay, so now, but anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to share that. I don't want to go too deep into that. Now, this is my last one. And the economy was going so well. We were the model of for the world, the economy, the way Biden was running it. But those hate, the racism, it's stuck so deep into the fabric of their DNA, they refuse to see reality. And this is why many African American was like, you know what, you wanted it, we've been struggling throughout our lives, we'll manage, but you who never experienced this, hey, destroy whatever. This is my last one. Government, DEI, Target boycott. We're not shopping at Target ever again. The good news, Costco is doing great, just like we predicted. Keep up the great job, everyone. Keep pressuring on their bottom line. All right, so if some of you don't know, Trump is trying to create that division. I think I don't pay too much attention, but occasionally I take a peek. And I think now, after he moved to remove the DEI thing, he's moving into creating segregation. People is like, okay, just do it. And I see a lot of black people, African American, saying, it's about time because you people are so freaking dumb, we don't need you near us. To put it mildly, you people are so freaking dumb. Okay, fine. Just let us know where you don't want us to be because we're trying to stay away from you guys. But yet you keep on inserting yourself into our conversation. I think there was a trend that was going on not Twitter. What's that? I'm not on. TikTok. About black business train or something. I don't remember how it was. It's through recommendation of YouTube videos. Okay, that's how I'm aware of it. So a lot of African American are jumping on that hashtag, that trend, and now white people are upset. Why are you saying only black? It's unbelievable how they insert themselves and they become the victim. Okay, so that's it. Okay, I just wanted to share with you. Costco is thriving after they decided. They, meaning the Target and I think Walmart as well, wanted to follow up with Trump DEI thing, and people was like, okay, you wanna do DEI, you don't get our money. And the other thing as well, we should have known all of this. McDonald's, Walmart, and some other huge brand name American names, they've been supporting Republican for a very long time. If it has to take this to make people know it, okay. Not too long ago, well, it's probably now quite some time because it was way before the pandemic. I don't know, I think my kids did something really good. We wanted to reward them and we asked them what they want. Somebody's up. We asked them what they wanted and they asked for a game. So we took them to, I don't want to say the name because I resolve it myself. We took them to a place to buy the game that they want. Now, I was recording on my phone and things like that. There was a long line, and when we got in front of the cash register and I was recording to see the kids' reaction, the cash register literally stepped out and never came back. And I was like, we went to another one, another line, and then the person did the same thing. And I was like, what's going on? They don't tell us that, or they don't want people to be recording or anything like that. Later when I found out, it's because I was recording, but no one ever told me anything. And I told my husband, let's leave that alone. We could get it someplace else. My husband refused to listen to me. He just wanted to get out of the way. This thing got me so freaking upset that he bought it. I didn't speak to him for a week. And then it was still lingering in my head. I wrote the CEO a letter. And I said, why didn't you tell us that this was part of your policy? You don't want people to... There was no sign that said no recording or anything like that. But the fact that the cash register, what do you call them? The teller, the person who stands behind the cash register, remove themselves from us without telling us anything and never come back. So that means you don't need my money. So I don't know. I wrote a long letter, and then weeks later, the CEO wrote me back and said that if you want something, we could, offering me stuff. I just ignore it. But anyway, that's that. Let's do a prayer. I'm done, okay? I didn't go, there's no comment anyway. And I didn't read the article. Anything that I share with you, I didn't read an article. Just let me know if you want me to go back to it to share the link with you. But you need to put the timestamp. If there's no timestamp, I'm just going to ignore you because I'm not going to listen to the entire video. Prayer for... what? Brighter future? I said future. Brighter future. Okay, there it is here. Brighter... Less knowledge, because people are getting dumber. And look at Trump is trying to destroy the education system. Let's pick. Oh no, it's too long and it's small, so forget that one. Okay, Holy Father, you who are all knowing and wise, teach me your ways. I seek your wisdom and insight. I want to have knowledge and understanding. I seek your wisdom so I can walk in the path you lay before me, knowing right from wrong. This is very good, knowing from right from wrong. Protection against temptation and deceit. Fill me with your knowledge, O Lord, so I may walk in the straight and narrow path and faithfulness to follow you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. A prayer for knowledge and wisdom. Okay? We need that. Not just the American people. Those racist people, they dismantle a system that they benefit on. They benefit in, they only realize it after they destroy it. But anyway, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking how they destroying natural resources. I was thinking Okavango River, and one, I think when Liz, that former prime minister, was talking, I was thinking of Okavango River, and where Harry's trying to prevent that from happening. I think it went through. They went on with it. And the company that's doing it is from Canada. All right, so there's all of that. Whew. All right, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I think the last video that I was... Yep, it's done. This is the video I was just... finished upload, and it's finished rendered. So this will be live later today, and it was 21. That's when I did that. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness, and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.